All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Shiny M. Kubar, and together with my co-reporter, Miss Julianne Medalia, and together we'll be reporting for this subject, Technology for Teaching and Learning 1. So before we start, everyone, we will have a short prayer led by Miss Medalia.
Okay, everyone, let's start our session with a prayer as we bow our heads and make the sign of the cross. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, amen. Father God, thank you for today. Thank you for all the blessings that you have given us. Thank you for all the learnings that you have provided us to fill our hearts with joy, our minds with learning, and our lessons with fun. We ask for your blessings in our daily lives, Jesus, and I hope you guide us today. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Medalia. Now let's go back to our slide. So here, my part is the Miss assigned. The topic that Miss assigned to us is topic number 17. So my topic is online communities of learning. So we will be focusing on that, and we will uh, discuss and deep dive to these topics to the next few slides. Okay, let's go. What is online communities of learning? So here is the definition and concept for the question, what are online communities of learning? So online communities of learning are digital spaces where learners interact, share knowledge, and collaborate toward common goals. They can include forums, group chats, video calls, collaborative documents, and peer-to-peer support. So for the next slide. Okay, what constitutes an online learning community? So it is an active participation, shared resources, peer support, and a sense of belonging. Both teachers and learners contribute to discussions and activities. So basically, the online communities of learning is which are these groups in a digital spaces online where students, teachers, or even professionals come together to share knowledge. It's not physical, but it's online. They will support each other and learn collaboratively. So that's why it constitutes an active participation socially through online digital spaces. So next is, so for the next question, what are the differences between formal versus informal communities? So napwede siya differentiation. Nade siya duha ka buok categories, which is formal communities and informal communities. So first is formal communities. It is a structured tied to institutions, for example, university, LMS forums, MOOCs, etc. So, that are just like examples. So, for example, na page ang atong university, atong asa ka nag-eskwela or asa ka nga company, they will create a digital space for where we can uh, allow students, teachers to collaborate to get to be updated on news and announcement memos, for example, etc. etc. So that is called a formal communities. For example, in Facebook, where we can follow and be updated on CTU pages or CTU other organization pages in Facebook. Next is informal communities. It is a self-organized, interest-driven, for example, Facebook study groups, pages, and Discord servers, etc. So, kasi naka-differentiate, kasi din naka-different ano niya sa formal. So, formal is for schools and institutions or organizations and companies. While sa informal is your own desires. Sa asa nimo preferred nimo sa imong own social media like naay mga sa first for a certain topic and other things like magto ka sa Facebook, magto ka sa mga pages for study groups or other topics sa imuhang preferred genre, etc. Adto sa Discord servers or mga kanaging group chats nga nagkadepende ana. Next slide. So here, mananata sa definition and concept. So nanapunta sa types of online learning communities. So what are the types of online learning communities? So we have here three types: academic focused and professional development, peer-to-peer or interest-based. First is academic focus, MOOC or Coursera, edX, etc., university forums, Google Classroom groups. Mo tanong gingon katong gi-differentiate na to ang formal ug informal nga communities in online digital spaces. So, for kani siya is kung na siya specific lang siya, academic focus siya for CTU itong giingon gi-mention ganiya nga CTU pages, study groups, etc., Google Classroom groups. Next is professional development, LinkedIn group. So, kanina yung LinkedIn is an app. Usually, this is used by mga graduate students na like or mga itag trabaho online. They will download this app, LinkedIn, and they will search for job opportunities there. And industry-specific forums or Slack communities. So, daghan kay mga professional development ng mga digital spaces like websites, just like LinkedIn for specific kuan gyud, specific needs nimo. Next is peer-to-peer or interest-based. So, nana siya coding communities like GitHub, Stack Overflow. I think mga website na siya or mga applications nga makita nimo online. It is hobbyist forums, Discord study servers. Kung ano siya ang by peer-to-peer is mangita ka naging mga same interest nimo nga makita nimo online nga makatabang nimo or na baka i-share sa imong knowledge din sa digital space nga imong sudlan. Next. So what are the benefits of these online digital spaces or online learning communities? So it first is it encourages collaboration and peer learning. Mo ang ilahang desire sa mo silang purpose nga nung o goals nga nung nisod sila ng mga digital spaces. Second is builds confidence and motivation. So, dira na ma-emphasize ang social interaction, maka-build nimo og kanaging confidence, self-esteem, maka self-driven, more on self-driven nga mga purposes. Next is third, provides networking opportunities. So this is where you can find opportunities katong gi-mention ganiha nga job in online opportunities, or you can search for tutorials or share knowledge, skills, gain and acquire. It's like a win-win situation for both na mga people sana kuan kanaging online spaces. Next is supports diverse learning styles and inclusivity. So, yung support is kanaging tungod sa yung pagka-diverse and inclusive na dagan kay mga learning style nga makuha nimo also through the people nimo meet online. They will support you and give you feedback, etc. and will give you tips, etc. etc. Ano siya. Last but not the least, makes learning more engaging and less isolating. So, di ka ma-feel isolated. Bisag nara kasi mo hang own, nara kasi inyong balay. Wala kay nakamit mga tao. Let's say yun nga, maka-feel lonely ka once na nakasama nga ani nga digital spaces para kung unsa imong purpose gagawin ito, it's either mo ngita kag job opportunities. Mo tong gipang mention ganiha nga dagan kay mga tips, benefits nga or mga purpose or goals nimo nga makuha ra gani mo din na sa mga online learning communities. That maka-interact kag mga imong ma-meet online, and that's all. That's all the benefits that you can get from online. It will motivate you, inspire, and also you can at the end of it all you can learn a lot or knowledge. That's all. Next slide. So what are the challenges and disadvantages? So when it comes to everything, nandiyan na siya challenges or disadvantages. Okay, dili lang kay nakatay benefits na pud tay mga dapat i-aware sa tong self when it comes to digital spaces. So, what are the challenges or disadvantages of online learning communities? First is risk of social isolation if interaction is weak. Also, dapat na pud kay kanang strategies, techniques on how to properly engage with people you meet online or you interact with. Okay, if you're too awkward or you don't know how to approach, it might kuan kanaging lisod gyud kanaging you will be in the risk of social isolation. Weak, wala kay if wala jud kay courage uh to push through sa mga nanay nga digital spaces. So, unequal participation. So, there might some students dominate others and stay silent. Just for example, makita na ginato na siya sa like mga group chats. If if naka-experience na ka ani, like mo message ka for asking questions, yeah, kutob ras lamang scene, daghan kayo. So, it feels like kaan gani kanaging second-hand embarrassment nga ma-feel nimo bisag online, bisag dili pa face to face, you can still feel shame and kuan kanaging murag di na ka ma-discourage ka nga mo participate, mawad-an ka gana something like nana ba since ang grabe naman kayo ang walay equal nga kuan kanaging dili sila mo give og giveaway para sa uban kay sila lang pirmi. So, nanay mo nang nakalisod or may mas nakakuan nakapait sa mga group chats. Next is technical barriers. So there are a lot of technical barriers such as internet access. It's either your Wi-Fi have no internet or choppy ka or wala kay kapalit load and digital literacy. So digital literacy is if you are not prepared or you don't know how to protect yourself for cyberbullying or you don't your personal what do you call that uh privacy. Yes, if you don't know kanaging magpadala ra ka sa mga tao online, you don't know how to control yourself. It's much better you to control yourself, be wary, be cautious to people in throughout the internet. So it's importante gid ka na nga sa imuhang mga gipang share online dapat last lang yun, limited lang yun imong i-share. Next is lack of immediate feedback compared to face-to-face learning. So, dili gyud ka ng immediate or kanang dali mo hataog ka ng feedback since it's an online ba, di man face-to-face. So, kanaging imbis na it's either nga kani siyang tao nga imuhang na-interact online ganahan ta siya mo hatag og feedback or unsa pa may imuhang makuan pero mawaw siya kay basig uray too much siguro siya ma-feel it's a personal kuan pod problema pod sa mga tao sa mo na siyang hindi na to makita ang unsay lisod gid siya sa online. Next is possible distractions or off-topic discussions. Kani is common kayo kay paralit kita ni tanan since daghan ma distract kita pirmi sa kanang internet, scroll madung scrolling sa internet, Facebook. Nya kanaging kung nanay kuan ra online class din na kay katog ka, giduka ka or tama ba ka or kanaging usahay kay kanaging ang murag na sobraan na kuan ang topic ba napunta na sa lain na nalayo na ba wala na nakakuan lahi na ang gitabian. So wala siya challenges and disadvantage. So kiba naman kita na common naman kana siya pero mangita paagi og way if you don't have an internet access, you cannot access internet or it's either that mangita paagi pwede ka magpahibaw sa imong teachers mangutana kasi muhang bahalag mao ka mo approach you kasi mga mayors nga
kanang pwede ko mangutana sa instructions ani bahalag mo pabaga kag naong as long as kanang dili ka left behind. Because yes, I know that feeling nga left behind ka na ma-isolate ka kay ka naging usay dugay kita kasabot sa instructions or kanang mostly na mga possible scenarios. Okay, so that's all for the challenges and the disadvantages. For the next slide, let's go to technology and tools. So napaday tayo tanahuman. So kapila naman ta sige kuan ani kanang mention, magbalik-balik lagi, technology and tools. So, what technologies and tools support online learning communities? Ay, nang ma'am, kana ding AI. Tools man na siya. Pero di na to ba? Yes, it's a tool, but di kita magpagrabian ano, like sa kay basi siguro puhon ang robots and AI mo na lang mo kuan tudlo ni mo kuan mo kanaging mo na mo dominate sa imong trabaho sa teacher, sa student kay para sobrang na pagkatapos. You can use it to kanaging to learn ba? Kanaging dili ni mo mismo ipa-control gid sa tanan kay basta siguro kanaging ma-booking ka di ka katigo mo gamit sa AI mo na siya. So, arita sa platforms. Ang sa ning Moodle, Edmodo, kana murag wa pa kay ta ka familiar na mga apps no. Ato mo sa itong may bawaan is kaning Canva, Google Classroom, Discord, yeah. Other mga platforms like Facebook, Instagram, social media, um, other forms of platforms that we can use for video editing, for sharing of knowledge, social media updates, news, and more. Daghan pag yun siya, games, and ano. Next is collaborative tools. Collaborative tools such as Google Docs, Padlet, Trello. Ay, nakagamit ko ng Trello. From, kanina Trello is like, mura siya to-do list in a calendar form. Mura po siya ganaging, kasi tawag ani Excel. Pero nindot ko siya nga Trello, makalist ka din ha kay. Nagamit ko na siya tong time pa nag-VA ko. Dira ni mo mabutang ang mga kanaging mag-collaborate kasi mga boss yung mga coworkers and next is Zoom is mga you can Zoom is like Google Meet. You can use this to call or in a one meeting for class with your teachers and classmates. So Zoom breakout rooms, etc. Next is the role of AI and analytics. Ang bugoher ako gaingon ganiha about sa AI. So oh, yes, AI can you can personalize it and it will cater to your needs. It will you pwede magani mo mahimo unsa ba na siya therapy or imong kung wala kay love life mahimo na nimo siya kuan kanaging ng boyfriend kung lonely na kasi mong life pero the role of AI analytics grabe na gyud siya kuan sa tuang kuan no kita nimo di na nimo ka differentiate if tinuod ba siya or dili makuan marag pahamak ang mapahamak diri mostly mga victims diri ang mga artists and like katong mga genuine mo gamit silang kanang bisag mag-write ka o kanang genuine nga imuha yung gi-come up sa imong mind pero ingon silang ngigi AI man na siya na M dashes na ay etc. nga kanaging bisag AI bisag dindot kay kag poetic kay na imong gibuhat dira pero mo dito yung lang buhat nag AI di kumutuan na ipakuan na nila sa zero GPT ni Miss ang imong essay ikuan dyan na ma zero kay gatuo sila AI na nga ikaw ra jud gabuhat so mo na siya personalized learning path engagement tracking adapted feedback system so mura yun na siya limit lang yung paggamit sa AI di lang pasobrahan kay murag mag depend ka na pero may ikaw sad mismo ma-drain ang imong kuan imong knowledge kuan sad ka di na ka mahansay sa imong kuan imong brain. Okay, that's all for my technology and tools. Nakabakulain. Okay, conclusion. What is the overall importance of online communities of learning? So, throughout atong discuss sa may nasabtan. So, they bridge distance and diversity. Wherever you are, asa pa ka, nasa kuan ron, sa kalibutan, this will kanaging bring us together, making education more collaborative and inclusive. Um,
Because of this, the success depends on the right tools. You will use the right tools, not depend on AI too much. Although karelate man ta, pero di lang yung kay too much. We will use the right tools, practices, and active participation. Be aware. You know how you should be illiterate to digital spaces. Bisag tiguang pa ka, kuan, unsa pa imong edad mo, adjust gid ta sa times. Next is with proper design, they empower learners to connect, share, and grow together. That's all. So, learning online communities of learning will help you throughout since na kita sa modern day kita mga estudyante maka flexible learning na kita and makatabang di siya nato gyud pero lahi ra gyud kayo ang kanaging gitudlo sa maestra o kanaging face to face learning. Pero at least kani siya is kanang somewhat help you. You can educate yourself in the internet. You can meet a lot of people, but always be cautious. That's all. Thank you. Okay, for the next topic, let me call Miss Julianne.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Kobar. That was a very informative discussion. So now I am Miss Medallia, and we are going to tackle about our next topic, which is flexible learning formats. Next slide, please. So first, what is flexible learning? Let's define the concepts first. So flexible learning, it literally means giving learners or giving us the choice and control over how, when, and where we learn or where learners learn. So it is a flexible way of gathering informations or flexible way of learning. So if we say, when we say flexible learning formats, it is the instructional approaches that offers learners the choice. So we have the control and we have the choice, convenience, and adaptability in how we learn, when we learn, and where we engage with the educational content that we want to learn. So that is flexible learning formats. It is the approaches. Okay, next slide. So unsa day ning idea sa flexible learning. So here we have a lots of concepts of flexible learning. First is we have it learner-centered design. So ang kaniding flexible learning, it is learner-centered. So it prioritizes the needs of the learners above all else. Next one, it offers multiple delivery modes. So it offers learners modes of learning. For example, you can learn through face-to-face, online, blended or hybrid learning, and high flex. So on face-to-face, it's self-explanatory. So face-to-face, you go to school and you learn. Online, it is also self-explanatory. You learn through online class. Sa blended naman, ito yung where online and face-to-face is blended together. For example, like us, we have 1 week online and 1 week face-to-face. That is called blended learning. For sa hybrid kay mao ni siyang nag-involve siya og two separate groups. Or for example, you have two classes, class 1 and class 2. So those classes can choose if they want to simultaneously learn online or learn face-to-face. That is hybrid. For HyPlex, mao ni siya ang kanang combination sa face-to-face and hybrid learning. So, if ganahan ang estudyante mo face-to-face siya sa kaning lesson, she can or he can go attend face-to-face, or he can just watch videos or attend online sessions. Mao na ang HyFlex. So also, kaning online learning, it offers flexible time. Or kaning flexible learning, it offers flexible time where we can learn or learners can learn at any time they want. Also, flexible location, so we can learn at any place. You can attend inside the classroom, at home, in your workplace, and etc. It is also flexible in learning resources. You can access any resources you want as long as it's reliable and varied materials. Next, next slide, please. Okay, it is also technology enhanced learning. So through this, so we are uh, indulge more in the technology aspect of our society today. So it has learning material systems like LMS. We can access through video conference tools like Zoom or Gmeet, learning apps, and it through that it supports flexible delivery of information, communication, and resource access. Next one is the autonomy and self-regulated learning. So, ang kaning flexible learning, it encourages students to take responsibility of their own progress. So it's quite difficult because you need to be responsible of your own learning because no one will guide you. That's why you have to control over how you approach learning in your own way. Next one is flexible assessments. So since flexible learning, give flexible assessments. So teachers or instructors will give you deadlines and submission, but you can just flexible ang submit. You can submit it through paper, Google form, and also the quizzes for flexible assessments is like G-form na karon kasagaran. Projects are like video presentations like kanya tong gibuhat ron and PPTs. Mga siya. Flexible ang assessments. Mao sad ang nakanindot sa flexible learning. Okay, next slide please. So kanina nata diri sa formats. So daghang types of formats niya. I have listed here several. First is we have online learning. So but first unsa din ang formats. So if to simplify ang format, it is a way in which something is arranged, or like it's like how things are set out. For example, we have here online learning. So online learning, it is fully digital courses. Like it can be synchronous or asynchronous. Synchronous meaning learning in real time. Like it could be face-to-face learning, real time and face-to-face, yeah, obviously. But it is usually online. Like the teacher is discussing and you are interacting in real time. And kaning asynchronous, it is learning that happens in different times. Like a teacher will just give you instructions on how to do the task, and it's up to you on when you are going to do it, as long as they meet the deadlines. That is online. Next one is blended learning. So as I have said, so it is a mix of traditional in-person classroom or face-to-face instruction and online learnings activities. Next one, I think we are all very familiar with modular learning because back back in 2019 ata, when the COVID-19 hits, our education was halted and the government employed modular learning na lang sa tanan. So mo ni ang mga self-paced learning materials usually printed at back that time, and it can be in the form of digital modules, but what I have experienced was printed modules. So you learn ana dira ang topic dagan kag subject, for example mathematics. Na usa ka module about mathematics is like a small book or a few pages about the learning curriculum. Yeah, imo na siyang study on your own and answer the questions there. Okay, next slide. Okay, next one is asynchronous learning. So, na-talk na to ganiha. So, it is students can access the lesson and complete assignments in their own time. without the need of real-time interaction. So maotong learning that happens at different times for students, but they as long as they meet the deadlines for the projects or the tests or exams. Next one is distance learning. So formal gyapon ni siyang distance learning ha, even though they don't meet or interact face to face, it is still a formal education where learners and instructors are geographically separated and connected through telecommunications. For example, na ako sa Cebu and na ako'y classmate nga nasa Manila. Yeah, same mi og school pero amo ang course is online. So that is distance learning. Next one is mobile learning. So it is a learning that takes place on portable devices such as smartphones, tablets, computers, laptops, like that. And the last one that I have listed is self-guided learning. So it is where student can learn more learn more on their own and take ownership of their own progress. So it's more like a student-centered approach. Unlike when you go to school, have face-to-face, it is usually teacher-centered. But for this one, kay flexible man ang learning, it is a student-centered approach. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, tara. Nana, if unsa mangutana mo, why is it necessary or is it necessary to have a flexible learning? So what do you think, everyone? Necessary mag ang flexible learning or we just stick to traditional learning? So, daghan ta mag benefits of why flexible learning can be good in these modern days. First is we have the accessibility of diverse learners. So, dili man gud ta same tanan. All students are not all students are the same. So we are very unique and very different to each other at one another. So mao nang through this namang other students nga they have difficulties learning face to face, they can just attend online. So maka-access ra ang everyone through flexible learning. It naman siya daghang formats or daghang approaches nga ma-offer. Next one is offers multiple learning pathways. So daghan kag pathways. If mahuman ka aning online course, you can proceed to other courses and through that na siya kanang job pathways. Okay, next is work study balance for adult learners or professionals. So like most of college students or university students, they don't just study or focus on study. They have work or part-time jobs. That's why through flexible learning, they can work and study at the same time. So kumbaga balance siya sa mga workers and at the same time students sad. Next is accommodates different schedules. So at akong giingon ganiya ang idea sa flexible learning is na siya flexible time. So that's why it can accommodate different schedules. Next is support different learning paces. So ang students dili gyud tanan nga students mo learn at the same time. So we learn on different phases. Like na students nga maglisod sila understand sa certain topic na pay uban nga super advanced nga maboard na sila ana. So mo nang through sa pamaagi ani maka-promote siya og different support sa learning paces sa uban kay pwede sila ma-attend og online nga mao ni ang topic nga i-discuss bag-ayo. Ang uban pwede nang mo-advance sa lain nga courses. Next one is promotes independence and self-regulation. So, nga ang flexible learning gyud kay lisod gyud siya for learners nga dali ra ma-distract. So, if you just manage to manage your time, I think it promotes really self-regulation and independence, good independence. That's why. Next is it makes learning more resilient. So, if you learn on your own, di na ka magsalig sa uban, it makes your learning more effective gani. Like, lahi magud ang different teachers have different approaches. Yeah, you are not sure or maka-feel ka nga dili ka mo fit sa iyang learning style. Maari ka sa flexible learning sa imong student-centered approach, and it makes you more resilient or have the control for your own learning. Next one, and the last one, not totally the last, but the last one here, it encourages lifelong learning. So, dili ra siya as long as 5-year course or 4-year course, dili ra siya nga na. So, as long as you want to learn, it is lifelong learning for you if through flexible learning. Nga na siya ka-amazing. Next slide, please. Okay, so if na benefits, na challenges. So every strength in our or every panghitabo sa atong life kay namang challenges, di ba? So mao ni ang mga pipila ka sa challenges. First is it requires strong self-discipline. So kung ang benefit niya kay daghan siya makakuha siya self-resilience or self-regulation, independence, and autonomy, moagi jud ka aning strong self-discipline kay lisod jud kay ni siya kay as we know daghan kay technology ron ma-distract gid ang learner. So need ni usa ni siya sa step nga need ni mo i-take para ma-effective jud imong self-guided learning. Next one is the digital divide and access issue. So dili magid tanan affluent or privileged enough to have technologies around us or technologies nga atong gi-own like most of us have cell phones but not all have laptops or computers. Yeah, kay bawbay jud ta nga having a laptop is more convenient than having a phone. Okay, there's features on laptops that phone does not have like that. So nagi siya digital divide and access issue. So next one is limited interaction and social presence. So limited ra ang social interaction in real time. Kay through online man siya niya, flexible pa jud. And tungod, mostly, if ingana, mahitabo jud ang self-isolation. Like, mag-isolate ka, kay mura naman kag naminaw sa online, ay wala man jud kay na-learn. At some point, maka-feel ang student yun ana. Kay, dili kay siya ka-interact sa mga classmates, yung teachers, kay murag ma-shy siya mo raise sayang hands or virtual hands. Mao nang ang pressure sa iya magka-build gani niya nanaday social anxiety issues or isolation issues. Next one is technology difficulties. So technology akong gipasabot ang gimin dire is ang internet connection. Sometimes wala tay data, wala wifi, hinay ang internet, lag kayo, mao na siya ang one of the challenges. Assessment challenges, kanang dili ka ka-access kay wala kay account. Okay, for example, ang Excel need man na siya account, and to have an account you have to pay for the app niya. Sometimes dili tanan nga makakuha na maka-access. Murag ang assessments usually karon ang mga assessments kay GForm naman lang. And I think most but not all have know how to navigate the online. Like, mamang ginay problems na to. Kaya dito katigo mo navigate sa digital tools karon. Manay na siya assessment challenges. Next one is communication gaps and reduced structure. So, nagi siya communication gaps kay ang online kay timed ba yan na. And dili yun kayo maka-interact ka sa imong mga classmates through online. Mao nang ma-reduce ang structure sa imong learning phase. Yes. And the last one is technology dependence. So, karon kay nanajud ang mga ChatGPT, ang AI. So, nagitay tendency nga mag-depend na lang sa technology. So that's why even though dako kay siya benefit ang flexible learning, daghan gyud kay siya challenges nga need i-overcome sa learner kay if used too much, mabad na nun ang result. That's that's why we need to take note of this challenges. Next slide, please. Okay, to sum it up, everyone. So, muna to no, ang atong gidiscuss is flexible learning formats. So, unsa dining formats? It is the instructional approach that give us the control over how, when, and where we learn. So, although nani mga risk, so I think overall, if used properly or maintained properly, it can be very advantageous for us because education will be more inclusive, learner-centered, and adaptable. So through this, I think most of us will foster skills such as self-regulation, autonomy, digital competence, and lifelong learning readiness. So that's it for our report. Thank you so much for listening, everyone, and see you next time.